they were gone forever. Maybe we need some bacon. Isaac Newton has reached the idea of the law of universal gravitation when he saw an apple falling from a tree. Then, had Jean-Philippe Rameau seen a note falling from somewhere? Groove, melody, and harmony. The Masked Composer presents the first book of songwriting. Not a few of the great songwriters haven't even learned the music theory. But on the other hand, we can hardly deny the advantage of knowing theories. Firstly, what is the music theory? Is there also law like physics in music? A boy and a girl are singing the same melody. Perhaps you don't wonder about anything at all. This time, grown-up man and a lady are singing the same melody. Maybe you still don't wonder about anything. But if you listen to it very carefully, you may notice that the man's voice sounds quite lower than the lady's. Are they truly singing the same melody? The boy and the girl are singing the same melody with no doubt. Unison is the most primitive way of singing songs together, but in most of the cases, grown-up men can sing easier when they sing in lower pitch than ladies. Nevertheless, the melody itself remains the same. This is called the octave, the basic miracle of music. The two parts which are an octave apart can sing the same melody without any trouble. As a matter of fact, we usually even don't notice about that. But you may feel that the timbre is richer than the voice in unison. Our brains capture the cyclic vibration of the air as musical sounds. The simpler the frequency ratio between two tones, the more consonant our brains feel the two tones are. The frequency ratio between two notes that are an octave apart is 1, 2, 2. On the traditional stuff, it would be written like this. Now we're ready to go to the next step. What if we split both the male part and the female part in two and sing notes somewhere between octave? We will probably acquire much richer timbre. A boy and a girl sing in the frequency ratio of 1 to 1. A man and a lady sing in the frequency ratio of 1 to 2. The next candidate may be the note which makes a frequency ratio with the bass note as 2 to 3. As expected, these two notes are quite harmonious, and that is why this particular interval has been given a special name as the perfect fifth. Now we've got enough material to assign to those four parts: the soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. Okay, let's get the ball rolling. They've been singing a melody pleasantly, then all of a sudden they've come to be unable to maintain the simple harmonious frequency ratio between them. This never happened when they sang lines an octave apart. In the middle of the melody, they encountered very complex frequency ratio. This is the tritone. Some call this interval as the devil in music. So, how should this devil be treated? I'm having a picnic. It's lunchtime. 2 pieces of bread would be perfectly alright, but today I'm going to put some lettuce between the pieces. Maybe we need some bacon. It seems that music is not as simple as sandwiches. When you try to put a perfect fifth note like lettuce between notes an octave apart like pieces of bread, a devil appears. But if you pull down the lettuce just a little bit by this symbol flat, you are going to regain the perfect fifth. Or else, if you pull up the pieces of bread with this symbol sharp, you can regain the perfect fifth too. As a matter of fact, these two symbols are derived from the struggle with the devil in music. This may be seen a perfect solution, but in this case, the two singers are singing on different styles of music instead of the same ones. Whether to avoid the devil in music or to stick to the same styles was a dilemma which had been bothering people for a long time. We just gained some bacon. Let's put it in our sandwich. Maybe we want richer music just like this sandwich than the one which consists of only an octave and a perfect fifth. It is not that difficult to find out the note which is appropriate to be between the bass note and the perfect fifth note. A tone which makes a frequency ratio of 4:5 with the bass note. Major third seems to be perfectly ideal. In fact, the introduction of the major third is more revolutionary than that of the perfect fifth. Firstly, its complete masses consist of 3 notes called chords. For example, these 3 notes make a chord called F in today's music. Secondly, that paves the way to coexist with the devil in music. If we pull up the lower note and pull down the upper note of the tritone just a little bit, we'll reach major third in any cases. This process brings a dynamic motion to musical expressions. And we acknowledge the destination chord as the key of the song. When a discord progresses to harmonious chord, that motion would be called solution. We usually feel as if it occurs through the agency of gravity, the gravity of sound. The music theory is very simple, contrary to how it looks like. Great composers such as Mozart, Beethoven, George Gershwin, Francis Lay Burt Bacharach, and even the Beatles express so many things by music through the power of this simple phenomenon. The devil in music finally transformed to the dominant of music. In fact, chords which contain tritones are called dominant. And the progression is called dominant motion. From that time on, the composers of classical music began to avoid the consecutive fifths so that the devil in music couldn't appear again. The importance of the dominant motion hasn't been changed through the centuries. It is the essentials of classical, pop, rock, and even state-of-the-art electric music. The only exceptions are atonal pieces which are composed mainly during the 20th century. There are three significant pioneers in this genre: Arnold Schoenberg, Anton Webern, and Alban Berg. They have tried to go to the outer space against the force of gravity.
Three, two, one.
And they were gone forever. Many of us are still staying on the ground and making music under the influence of gravity. You can easily transpose the dominant motions at any keys. All you have to do is slide the notes with the ratios intact. If you're a keyboard player, why don't you prepare this kind of gadget? If you're a guitarist, the things are going to be much easier. After you practiced a couple of ways to make chords, all you will have to do is just slide your hand. Changing the keys is just like building houses with exactly the same plan on a variety of places such as a shore, a hill, or a mountain. Though the plans are the same, the views of the windows must be very different. The dominant motion itself is a very simple structure, but it is capable enough to express a variety of things in a variety of ways, such as symphony. Jazz. Or rock and roll. Thank you, Tokyo!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
If you play tonic and dominant chords alternately and sing along those chords with simple lyrics that you just make up, maybe it is going to be your first original song.
I've just got 2 pieces of bread. You've just bought something to spread. Ooh, why don't we sit together? Ooh, 'cause we need each other.
Today, we made the big start to write songs. The next things we will have to do is just to develop what we have done today. If you make someone happy or impressed with pieces of music you've made, what a wonderful thing it is going to be. Maybe someday you're going to be one of those great composers such as George Gershwin.